you didn't have like a big background in wrestling or anything. When did you start MMA?
When I started MMA in Alaska formally.
What age?
I was 25. Yeah.
We get asked that so many times.
My first taste of martial arts was modern army combatives, though, which is sort of like a very low level of white belt jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got a taste of it, I wanted it. You know, I needed it, to be honest. And growing up, you know, we boys who grew up, you know what I'm saying? We always want to be in those sports, you know, flex our muscle. And what better way to flex your muscle than fighting?
Right,
you know, all the other sports is good and well, but fighting, I think that's more primal. That's more natural. And exactly, that is that's a more natural display of dominance, you know?
Oh, I feel like all athletes, NFL players, NBA players, they all fucking look at UFC fighters as like they're dominant.
Yeah.
They're the
100%.
alphas.
Yeah.
Those are the
100%.
motherfuckers. They all want to be fighters.
So
Rappers wanna be
25.
fighters.
So 25, you just rolled into a gym and were like, hey, I'm gonna check this out.
Well, while I was in the Army, I wanted to do combatives. It didn't come to. It didn't. None of my aspirations materialized. When I got out of the Army, I had all that time now, so I went and tried judo for a couple of months, and then I got a job in Alaska, and they had a Gracie Baja gym. I remember hearing the name Gracie before, so I went in, just the name drawing me to it, you know, but I knew I wanted to do martial arts too, so I was looking for a gym, and I found the Gracie gym up there.
Fan of the UFC at that time?
Not a big fan, no. And I had seen the fight or two,
Right.
and then I went in there and started doing jiu-jitsu. I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. So I did jiu-jitsu for a year straight, and then I did
no gi.
A gi.
Gi.
Yeah, gi and no gi. We had it, they did it all, and they had an MMA team there, and I started peeping the scene. These guys are throwing punches too. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, that's MMA. I'm like, they got MMA here too, because I had heard about it, and I'm like, they got a promotion here. They do fights. So I'm like, for real? I can do that. It was like, yeah. You know, and mind you, at this time, I'm 300 pounds. I'm working a full-time job. I'm 300 pounds.
300 clean?
300. Yeah.
Woo! That power transfer is over, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let's just say I was eating good, but not so good.
So then how long did you train before your first fight? Because Alaska is just pro, right?
Well, no, they have the amateurs. They had
They
an
do?
amateur, and I had 2 amateur fights. But it's not a big talent pool up there. It's a very isolated state, so.
How long did you train before you had your first fight?
I trained. I started training in February of 10, and then I had my first fight February of 11. Yeah.
The next day?
No, the next year.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I had been doing jiu-jitsu for a year, but I had started MMA like maybe 5 or 6 months after I had started jiu-jitsu.
Damn.
So
and in that year, how much weight did you lose?
I got down to 250. So I lost 50 pounds.
Just training?
Just training. Yep. Not even dieting, just training. But
That's badass. So you're working a full-time job along with training,
yeah.
building up your record as this pro career, and then you get the call for the UFC when you're 8-0. Who called you? Your manager?
Yeah. I had gotten I was at that point in my career, I guess people were noticing. So I was dealing with a few guys who were wanting to manage me. And I gotten a call from First Round. You know, Lou DeBono is the guy who I work with. And I had heard of First Round because I knew that they were managing. At that point, I was a fan of UFC and MMA, and I knew that First Round was managing John Jones, and that was like, you know, stardom for me.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And I was like, and I saw that, and I noticed, I was like, man, they deal with big time athletes.
Yeah.
Big
And
time
they're
shit.
over here noticing me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, hell yeah, you know me, man. I have no fear in any fight. So
And then you got that call for the UFC. You're still working full-time. You have how many babies at that time?
we have 2.
So 2 at that time.
Yeah.
You're working full-time. So did you have your first training camp down here for the UFC, right?
My first fight in the UFC was the first time I came down to the MMA lab, and I came down here for 2.5 months, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew Joe and Lauren, who are from Alaska also.
Yeah.
Saw that they were training at a big camp, came down here. Did you come down with the whole family?
For the camp we all came down. Cap wanted to come down, so we all came, and I think it was during the winter break, my children's winter break. We took our kid. We had one daughter in school is what it was, so we took her out and brought them down, and
What was that, 2 years ago? 2-3 years ago?
yeah, I think that was the end of 14.
Because I remember seeing the kids are so small. It's so weird watching kids grow up at the
End
lab.
of 14. That's 5 years ago.
Is it that long ago?
Because it's 2019
But-
now.
I think it was the end of 14 because I remember fighting Jones and fought in 15.
Okay.
Yeah, they fought January 3rd,
Wow,
2015.
what the fuck?
So then you fought how many fights in the UFC still keeping your full-time job? Because you were kind of nervous about quitting your job.
And relying on the UFC, yeah.
Especially with
I fought
3
Jordan. I fought Kutalaba. No, not Kutalaba. I fought the other heavyweight. A French dude. Oh, I forgot his name now. Cyril Asker.
Yeah.
I fought him in Croatia. Then
KO'd him.
Yep, knocked him out.
You didn't get the bonus for that
I did
one?
get the bonus for that one.
Ooh, so then you're like, all right,
Yeah.
Big Daddy's
There's
doing
some
some
money.
better.
There's some
I'm
real
paying
money.
off bills now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then I fought Kutalaba, and I got a bonus for that one too. So that was 2 bonuses in a row. That was real nice. That was a real good setup. And then after that fight, I had gotten a contract from the UFC, a nice contract too.
New one, yep.
So I was in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when they gave me Glover. Yeah, that was my 4th fight. That was my 2nd fight at light heavyweight, and it was the fight against Glover Teixeira. So fought him in Brooklyn. Didn't go my way, but learned a lot from it either way. And I got scheduled for my 4th fight, which was the summer of 17, and that was when that's when I said, I'm quitting this job.
You
know
had a
what I'm
good contract. You had some decent cheddar in the bank, and then you talked Cat, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do this full time."
saying? I couldn't stay. To be honest, I couldn't work that. That job. I feel like the job was literally sucking my soul out of me.
Was
you
it
know what I'm
40
saying?
hours a week?
Yeah. It was 10, but it was 8 days straight. So 10 hours a day, 8 days straight, 80 hours straight. So 10 hours a day, and then I'm trying to train all night long.
And trying to change.
Yeah,
and
so you'd
having
get off
kids
work,
and
go
a
straight to the
wife.
gym.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
But dude, we get asked
What an
by so
animal.
many questions, like from fans and people that are upcoming fighters, like, "Hey, I don't know if I want to work and train." It's like,
You have
dude,
to
you gotta
To
do
be
it.
honest, if you want to make it work, you have to make a sacrifice. You got to find something to sacrifice.
It's not gonna be
You either
easy.
sacrifice your time with whatever you want to do. You're either playing video games, hanging out with your friends, raising your family. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't train and you don't get as good as fast,
Yep.
and then you end up, left behind. To be honest.
Yeah.
yeah,
So luckily, I had a good woman behind me. Kat was a real good woman. She was very understanding. She saw the passion that I have for it. On top of that, she knew the potential as well.
So like those days, you'd go to work 10-hour days, and obviously that the resistance in your mind saying, "Oh, just go home, chill, eat some dinner, hang out with the family," every fucking day. I'm sure I can't even imagine. But something in you is like, "Fuck that, I'm going to the gym." You saw like potential in yourself. You really believe in yourself that deep. Say, "Fuck that, I'm going to the gym,"
Yeah.
and went to the gym
sweet.
every day. That's a fucking bad motherfucker.